Tuck jumps. Students jump straight up in the air, and while in the air, they lift both knees towards their chest and touch their knees with their hands. They land in control with knees slightly bent and immediately perform another tuck jump. After 5 consecutive tuck jumps, the student jogs on the spot for 10 to 15 seconds, and then they perform another set of 5 tuck jumps. If students have trouble jumping, they can do a low-impact version of the tuck jump where they raise one leg at a time and grab the knee of the leg that's in the air. Students will perform 2 sets of 10 of these tuck steps, with each set consisting of 5 steps on each foot. Shuffle. Students assume the defensive athletic position with knees slightly bent, feet shoulder-width apart, and arms bent in front. With fingers pointing up and palms facing forward, students stay low with their backs reasonably straight as they shuffle sideways around the perimeter of the activity area. Students step sideways, then bring their trailing foot up to the lead foot in a step-together step motion. Students never cross their feet as they shuffle. Jump to the sky and touch toes. Students begin with a 2-foot jump as high in the air as possible, lifting their arms straight above their head as if reaching for a rebound. Then, as they land, they bend their knees, lower their arms, and touch their toes as if going for a loose ball on the ground. They repeat jumping to the sky, then touching their toes 15 times. For a lower intensity version of this activity, students can simply reach up in the air without jumping and then bend to touch their toes. Vertical jumps. Students stand 1 meter away from and facing a wall with knees slightly bent and hands extended above the head. The students jump as high in the air as possible and touch the wall with both hands at the peak of their jump. Students land with knees bent to absorb the force of the landing. Students repeat this jump 10 times in succession. Crazy feet. Students assume the defensive athletic position with knees slightly bent, feet shoulders width apart, and arms bent in front with fingers pointing up and palms facing forward. Students begin running on the spot as quickly as they can with short, quick steps for a period of 10 seconds. Then, they move their feet slowly on the spot for 10 to 15 seconds and then perform another burst of crazy feet for 10 seconds. Students will repeat this crazy feet sequence for 3 10-second bursts. Students remain in the defensive athletic position throughout the entire mission task. Rebounding partners. Students pair off and assume an athletic position opposite their partner about 1 meter apart. On a determined signal, the partners shuffle 2 steps in one direction, then jump straight up and touch hands, and then shuffle 2 steps in the opposite direction and jump straight up and touch hands. They repeat this sequence 10 times. Count by fives. For hops, students simply hop on the spot on their right foot for 10 hops and then hop on their left foot for 10 hops. For V hops, students jump forward, landing with their feet apart, and then jump backward, landing with their feet together, creating a V jumping pattern. For bell hops, students jump forward with a 2-foot jump and then jump backwards with a 2-foot jump, swinging their arms forward as they jump forward and backward as they jump backward. Knees should be slightly bent when landing. For stride jumps, students jump up and while in the air spread their legs apart and swing their arms above their heads and touch their 2 hands together. They land in this position and then immediately jump in the air again and bring their feet back together and bring their arms back down to their sides, landing in this position. Students repeat this sequence 15 times. Pogo jumps. Students gather as a team when their mission is completed and perform pogo jumps for 30 seconds. Students start with their feet together and arms held tight and at their sides. Students bounce quickly, almost like double time, on their toes. Their heels should not touch the ground and their knees should be bent slightly at all times.